And then all of a sudden, I was like, man, I need to quit my job. And so I quit my job. You ever have those moments where your life changes? Like, it's like a watershed moment. Like, all of a sudden you're going this way and you think you're going to go this direction for a long time, and then next thing you know, you're no longer going that direction. That's this story. So fast forward to 2019, I go to work for LaRue County School Systems, which was a huge honor. Kindergarten through 12th grade, all the way through. They raised me to be who I am in a lot of ways. But I got to take on the branding and communications and PR through that. And it was really awesome to begin to tell the stories that I could see with my own eyes and show them to the community who loves the school system. And so that was this moment where I was like, oh man, something's going on here. And then comes July of 2020 and I started my own production company that I never really told anybody about. It just kind of happened. It's Caleb Phelps Films, LLC. And all of a sudden I found myself shooting projects for clients, and people were reaching out for me to film different things for them, businesses, nonprofits, corporate groups, stuff internationally. It was really kind of wild. And because like I said, I never told anybody about it. And so I've just done that, and I've slowly built it. Then a couple months ago, the reality set in that it was beginning to be this thing that I never imagined it could become, let alone as quickly as it was becoming it. And it was this moment that I realized sometimes when you take a step out on something and you're pursuing it and you feel just all this imposter syndrome, and suddenly that begins to be affirmed, that begins to be seen and received and requested from other people because they're affirming the gifts that you have. And then all of a sudden, I was like, man, I need to quit my job. And so I quit my job. Starting today, January 1, I am on my own. The last few months I've had these thoughts, right? And I began to realize, what do I want out of my life? The pandemic shook everything up. And I began to say, what do I actually want to do with my life? Where am I aiming this thing? And I landed on this, that my greatest ambition is I want to be an awesome grandfather. I began to think of the stories of my grandfathers, these men who, they're just kind of these titans in my imagination. And when you find yourself stepping into a story that is so much bigger than you, and it's so much longer lasting, and I think about stepping in my own dad or my parents' footsteps, and begins to shape the way that you think about your entire life. So all of a sudden, I'm gonna put this down. I had tea. I'm not drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not a psychopath. And so I just said, man, I went to Whit and I said, here's the thing, this is what I'm feeling. I think I've got to do this. And because she's the greatest wife in the world, she was like, let's do it. And I think that's what happens. I think we take these big chances in life and they're not guaranteed to succeed, and they're scary as all get out. And then we just break it down and we start taking step after step after step after step. And we realize that it's not as scary as we thought it was. And we realize there are more people behind us cheering us on than there are people on the sidelines criticizing us. We realize that, man, there's so much good in the world, and it's worth fighting for, and it's worth telling the good stories, and it's worth just dealing hope. And so that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. That's my January 1st announcement. So let me take like 30 seconds to tell you about it because I'm super pumped. The LLC is technically Caleb Phelps Films, LLC. It's a very official title. But it's actually now going to be operating as Good Night. And that comes from my oldest brothers and our favorite movie, Interstellar. And there's this poem that is really kind of integral to the film. That's not the point. But the point is that we specialize because I have a team. I have an editor, and 2 people makes a team. So there you go. And we specialize in taking high-end clients, and by high-end, we define them as good people who are doing good things, not high-end as in, fancy schmancy. And we make their stories loud. we platform them, and we make sure that the people who need to hear their stories do, and we connect them with the people who maybe haven't heard about them yet. And yeah, at the end of the day, at Goodnight, we help people to say what's in their chest. Thanks, love you, and for your all's support, even when you didn't know that you were encouraging me along the way. Thank you. This is also where I've been for the last 18 months, not putting out videos. I've been building this, and I'm excited to be back.